Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Budget with a July Dreamer. Today's video is brought to you by ChatGPT. Yes, ChatGPT and I have really serious conversations, and today I was lounging around after I finished work and I was just like, I wonder what content I want to share. And then in the same thought I was like, I wonder what kind of financial plans I should have at my current age. And I was like, do you know what, let's ask Chat. Let's see what Chat thinks I should have a plan for at age 38. So in ChatGPT I literally just put, what financial plans should I be setting in place at age 38? And I let Chat answer, and Chat always encourages me and says, great question. Age 38 is a pivotal point for financial planning. I'm like, okay, you've got enough runway before retirement to make big progress. I agree, but it's also a time when responsibilities, mortgages, kids, aging parents, career shifts often peak. So for me, mortgage, yes. Kids, no. Aging parents, my parents are too young. Career shifts, no, not really. But again, these are just some of the examples that Chat gave, and I love that Chat gave me a structured set of financial priorities that I could consider. And I loved it so much, you guys. So much that I decided to make a video on it. I need to move you guys a little bit at the back. I'm going to raise you and then... Okay. All right. I am dressed after all. Anyway, so it gave me a bucket. I want to say 3 buckets. 4 buckets. It gave me 4 buckets. The first bucket it gave me, it called it core foundations, and I absolutely love this. These are the core financial plans that you need to have in place or start working through. The first one is emergency fund. I couldn't agree more. As some of you might know, I recently fully funded my emergency fund with the amount that I wanted. So for me right now, because the price of everything has gone up, including my mortgage, I have filmed a video earlier in the year where I shared with you guys that in the last 5 years, my mortgage has gone up by £1,000. Back in 2020, my mortgage was under £700, and now my mortgage is practically 1,700 every single month. So £1,000, that's how much it's gone up by. So because of that, I have had to sit back and reassess what my emergency fund month, quarterly and annually looks like. So I looked at that, rejiggered the numbers, and I realized, okay, so I actually need to have a little bit more money. So the initial amount that I'd saved was for 6 months. Now looking at the things where they are now and rejiggling the numbers, I currently have 4 months. So even though it's no longer a priority, I have fully funded it for my previous way of budgeting. Even though it's no longer a priority right now, it's something I'm still doing in the background. But this is one of the things that has been recommended. So aim for a 3 to 6 months of essential expenses in a high yield savings account. I have broken my emergency fund into 4 pots. Do you need to do this? Absolutely not. I have put a chunk, 2 pots are with Monzo and 2 are savings accounts that I have with my brick and mortar bank, Barclays. So I keep them. They all earn different interest amounts, and when I set up the Monzo ones, they had the best interest ever. Obviously things have changed now, and the interest rates now for each of these pots match, but it's also still better than what I have with Barclays, which is a shame, but that's where we are at. So I have it in those 4 buckets, and each earns interest every single month, which I love for me. So I do have 4 months, like I said, and Chat is recommending between 3 to 6 months, which is the typical financial advice. When you are starting out, start with 1 month, and then 2 months, then 3 months, right? That puts you in a little bit of a comfortable position should something go wrong, and then start working on building to 6 months. I just love the financial folks on YouTube that have up to a year. That is absolutely incredible, and I want to do that. My only problem with that is having, for me, a year would be for £35,000 as a 1 year's worth of expenses. So yeah, I think that's how much I would need. And where I am right now, I'm okay, but I would really like to aim for a year if I can, because I don't know, I've really been thinking about this, like, do I want to take a sabbatical in a couple of years time or what? I haven't really thought through, but I do want to have like a year's worth of expenses, and I'll probably put some of that in the stocks, if I am honest. That's one of the problems I have with just the high yield savings accounts that we have. A lot of them do not have the best interest rates, so they're not that high yielding for me, for my liking. But anyway, yeah. Okay, the second one of the core foundations is debt management. Again, this is preached throughout the financial YouTube, at least. It's always best to pay off high interest debts like your credit cards, personal loans, and that is exactly what I am doing. I do have one personal loan that I am yet to pay off. As of today, I have 12,200, yeah, exactly, left to pay off. I am going to strive to see how quickly I can get rid of this. I don't want to be in any more consumer debt. It's quite tiring, and just to see that chunk of money leave my account every single month is depressing. So yeah, the third one is insurance coverage. This is something that I made sure to have in place as soon as I became a homeowner, as well as a landlord, but mostly as a homeowner. I have insurance practically for everything. Like, I pay a chunk to my insurance. Honestly, there's nothing better than having that coverage outside of having an emergency fund. Having the emergency fund plus my insurance is just chef's kiss. I'm able to sleep without tossing and turning. At least those are not my portion to worry about, thank God. But yeah, so those are your core foundations. Having an emergency fund, think about 3 to 6 months. Debt management, paying off all of your high interest debt. And then also the third one of the core foundations is insurance coverage. So having insurance for your health, disability, life insurance. And those of you who watch my videos know that I have a life insurance and I have income protection for myself. Then I do have for my home different insurances that I have, and in my rental properties I just have like one big one that covers everything and will also pay out at, touch wood, in case I was to pass away, or at the end of the mortgage term. It kind of like after 30 years they will just pay my rental properties off and that kind of jazz. So yeah, I do have all of these types of insurances, and I love it for me. I felt so happy looking at what Chat had recommended to see that it's the things that I'm already doing, because Chat is Mr. Know-it-all. You know, it gathers information from everywhere and kind of combines it for you and just like, here you go. And that's what I love it for me. The second part is the retirement and investing. So the first part is in the retirement and investing bucket is retirement contributions. It's saying at 38, aim to have about 2 to 3 times your annual salary saved. This is a benchmark, not a rule. I love this because some people in the finance community have made it seem like it's a rule that you should have at least 2 to 3 times your annual salary saved. Made it look like it's a rule when it's actually just a benchmark. Not a lot of us can claim to be there, but I don't know. I now have over 100k in my pension. I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about that. I'm obviously living in alone so that I can continue to grow, and yeah, I'm happy that I'm doing that. Am I 2 to 3? No, but it's okay. It's okay. And with my new financial advisor, we're gonna start working on me making sure I fully fund things like my ISA. That's one thing that I would like to do. Like, I would like to really fund my ISA in not just one financial year, but like I feel like once I start, I want to do it every single financial year, and I'm looking forward to that time for sure. So that's the first one, retirement contributions. So I make sure to make use of all my employer available benefits, and I made a video about that recently, and I shared about maximizing all your employer benefits in every shape or form that is offered, that is legal. So I do that. The second one here is investment strategy. You know, have a balanced, diversified portfolio. Again, this is not financial advice, but I do have a diversified portfolio, and I'm going to be working with my financial advisor to literally make sure I'm getting the best, right? So I know that, for example, I'm overexposed to the US. I do need to, well, the financial advisor needs to do some numbers for me, and then I'll make a decision on that. But yeah, and then here it says, you know, under investment strategy, have a balanced, diversified portfolio, automate your contributions, which obviously I do both at work and post-tax. I do that myself, and avoid chasing trends. I never really chase trends. I mean, I must say I did fall victim to crypto when it was all that was being talked about. I caved and I bought, and I think as recent as Q1 of this year, I decided, you know what, I'm going to sell everything crypto and stay out of there, because honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. It was a gamble, and I literally had no clue what I was doing. So I decided, do you know what? No. But definitely try not to follow. When it comes to my long-term investments, I don't. But for everything that I call play money, I seem to do. So we're going to stop that. But yeah. Then the third one here is tax planning. Yeah, this is where honestly my financial advisor, my accountant are coming in very handy for me. And I just noticed now that the majority of chats, how do I say, advice is very US centric, because it's talking about Roth IRAs and backdoor IRAs and all of that, when I'm like, no sir, I'm an ISA, not an IRA kind of thing. So anyway, but the advice still applies. So tax planning. So the first one under retirement and investment is retirement contributions. So making full use of your employer match. Investment strategy, having a balanced, diversified portfolio. And then tax planning as well, just making sure you are using all of the tax benefits available in your country. And for me, that's what I'm using my financial advisor as well as my tax planner for. So yeah. And then the next bucket is midlife financial goals. I found this very interesting, and I hope you do too. So the first one is housing. If you own, prioritize manageable mortgage payments. So about less than, it says about less than 28% of your income ideally. I don't know what, let me check, because I haven't actually looked at this. So I'm a little bit over that. I'm not at 28%. So let me calculate again and see where mine is. Again, this is just a guide. So it said income ideally that you're sending towards your mortgage. So I'm sending divide by equals, okay, then I'm sending now 36% of my income is going to my mortgage, which is absolutely crazy, but that's where I am at. So it says if you own, prioritize manageable mortgage payments, and if you're renting, weigh buy versus rent based on location, stability, and career goals. I think that's solid advice. 2, children / family planning. You know, if you've got kids, it's talking about opening college funds for them, updating your will, guardianship plans, and all of that good jazz. I don't have kids at the moment, so this is not really relevant to me right now. I do have a will, and you know, my beneficiaries are listed everywhere where I have assets, even at work. My life insurance with my employer that has beneficiaries as well. Career and income growth, invest in skills, certificates, and even side hustles, which I have been doing. At 38, boosting income has a bigger impact than cutting expenses. I agree, because honestly, you can only cut so many times before you will have to look at increasing your income. Like, there's only so much you can cut out. So I couldn't agree more. But midlife financial goals, I like this. Very interesting. And then the final one is estate and legacy planning. So create or update a will. I need to update my will. I think there isn't much changing, but the practice, I do it once a year. It's just proper practice. Establish powers of attorney, financial and healthcare. I need to look into this, and consider a living trust if you own property or want to simplify inheritance. Yeah, I need to look into this as well. I think I need to look at the whole thing, like estate and legacy planning. outside of having a will and making sure I've listed out all my beneficiaries, I haven't really thought too much about my estate and legacy planning. I really need to look into that. But yeah, so chat says, quick self check at 38. Do you have an emergency fund? I do. High interest debt, I do have one personal loan. Retirement savings, are they 2 to 3 times your salary annually? No, I am not there yet, but I do make full use of my employer matching insurance and estate planning. We're going to work on a estate planning insurance for sure, and investing automatically, which I have been doing for the last 10 years or however long I've been investing. But I do love this, and I thought you guys might love it too. What I'm going to try and do is see if I can, I'm going to take screenshots and see if I can incorporate this, if not already, in the video. Hopefully people will find this useful. Like I say, this is very US centric, and I could ask it to tailor it to somebody in the UK, but for now we're just gonna leave it where it is. And I literally just love this. Like, chat comes up with the best advice ever. But yeah, that is today's video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video real soon.